friends. Welcome to our story time today. The book we're going to read together is called Library Lion. Friends, what do you notice about these two words, library and lion? What do you notice? They both start with the letter L. Very good. What sound does the letter L make? Good. La for library and lion. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and read this story. This story was written by Michelle Knutson, and it was illustrated by Kevin Hawks. He drew the pictures. Library Lion. There's just a lion walking on the sidewalk. That's really interesting. One day, a lion came to the library. He walked right past the circulation desk and up the stacks into the stacks of books. Oh my goodness. Mr. McBee ran down the hall to the head librarian's office. "Miss Merriweather," he called. "No running," said Miss Merriweather without looking up. "But there's a lion," said Mr. McBee, "in the library." "Is he breaking any rules?" asked Miss Merriweather. She was very particular about rule breaking. "Well, no," said Mr. McBee, "not really." "Then let him be." Friends, how would you feel if you were at the library and you saw a lion? Miss Hilscher would feel a little bit nervous. So Miss Merriweather, that's the head librarian, and she is very particular about the rules, but she still let a lion in the library. That is just crazy. The lion wandered around the library. He sniffed the card catalog. He rubbed his head against the book collection. Then he padded over to the story corner and he went to sleep. That looks really comfortable, doesn't it? It kind of looks like our reading corner in our classroom. No one was sure what to do. There weren't any rules about lions in the library. Look, they're all just looking at him. Look at all those people and those kids. They're just staring at him asleep. Soon it was time for story hour, kind of like we're doing right now. There weren't any rules about lions at story hour either. The story lady seemed a little nervous. Miss Hilscher would be nervous if there was a lion at our story time. But she read out the first book's title in a good, clear voice. The lion looked up. The story lady kept reading. The lion stayed up for the next story, and the story after that. He waited for another story, but the children began to walk away. "Story hour is over," a little girl told him. "It's time to go." The lion looked at the children. He looked at the story lady. He looked at the closed books. Then he roared very loud. "Everyone give me your best roar. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Roar!" Look at his big mouth opening that roar. My goodness. Whew, and those teeth, those sharp teeth. Miss Merriweather came striding out of her office. "Who is making that noise?" she demanded. "It's the lion," said Mr. McBee. Miss Merriweather marched over to the lion. "If you cannot be quiet, you will have to leave," she said in a stern voice. "Those are the rules." The lion kept roaring. He sounded sad. The little girl tugged on Miss Merriweather's dress. "If he promises to be quiet, can he come back for story hour tomorrow?" she asked. The lion stopped roaring. He looked at Miss Merriweather. Miss Merriweather looked back. Then she said, "Yes, a nice quiet lion certainly would be allowed to come back for story hour tomorrow." "Hooray!" said the children. They're happy that the lion gets to come back. But how does the lion get to come back? He has to be really, really quiet. No roaring. The next day, the lion came back. "You are early," said Miss Merriweather. "Story time is not until 3 o'clock. The lion did not budge. Didn't move. "Very well," said Miss Merriweather. "You might as well make yourself useful." She sent him off to dust the encyclopedias. Oh, that's a big word. Encyclopedias until it was time for story hour. The next day, the lion came early again. This time, Miss Merriweather asked him to lick all the envelopes for the overdue notices. Look at him licking all those envelopes. He has a big giant tongue. Soon the lion began doing things without being asked. He dusted the encyclopedias. He licked the envelopes. He let small children stand on his back to reach books on the highest shelves. That's a thoughtful lion. That's really kind. Then he curled up in the story corner to wait for story hour to begin. At first, people in the library were nervous about the lion, but soon they got used to having him. In fact, he seemed very well suited for the library. His big feet were quiet on the library floor. He made a comfy backrest for the children at story time, and he never roared in the library again. "What a helpful lion," people said. They patted his soft head as he walked by. "How did we ever get along without him?" Mr. McBee scowled. Everyone show me how you scowl. He scowled when he heard that. No lions were needed. Lions, he thought, could not understand rules. They did not belong in the library. Well, that's not very nice, Mr. McBee. One day, after he had dusted all